House Leader of the third party.
Mr. Speaker, I also wish to acknowledge the earlier statements, heartfelt statements regarding the Lapu Lapu Festival tragedy. I also wish to acknowledge that we are proceeding with question period in difficult circumstances. And in asking questions, we mean no disrespect to the horrific events in the earlier statements. Mr. Speaker, last night we saw Canadian democracy in action, a system very familiar to British Columbia. We saw a winner-take-all, first-past-the-post counting system, which locks us further into an adversarial status quo, where collaboration is the exception rather than the rule, where people vote based on fear of the worst possible outcome rather than in support of a vision of the future they would like to see, where parties work for their own electoral interests rather than collaborating for the best interests of the public. Through you, Mr. Speaker, to the Premier, how will you modernize the voting system in British Columbia to adequately honour each person who makes the effort to vote?
Attorney General.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the member for the question. Our democracy is very important. It's important that we have a strong democracy, and I think what we saw last night was a demonstration of many Canadians participating in that democracy. Every time we have a democratic process in BC, the electoral officer reviews that. And I know there's a select standing committee that will be in place that will involve all members of this House that will review that election. And as Attorney General, if there are changes that need to be made under the Electoral Act to modernize our democracy, I'll certainly do so. Thank you.
Member supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for the answer to the first question. Across Canada and across British Columbia, people are feeling disconnected from institutions, from decision-making, from each other. We hear that people don't see their decision-making reflected, their voices don't matter, and their votes don't count. Trust in our institutions, including our democracy, are the cornerstone of our system of government. Our education, health, and housing systems suffer when they don't reflect the will of the people. Through you, Mr. Speaker, to the Premier, how will you ensure that people feel connected and listened to by this House?
Attorney General.
Again, I share the member's sentiment that it is important that we have an engaged public that understands what the work that we're doing here and how important our democratic institutions are. That's the work of all of us. I think the proper place for understanding changes is not the government to direct it, but for all parties to the Select Standing Committee to understand how we can make our democracy strong and continue to do so. I'm glad that we're having a Select Standing Committee to do just that work. I'll be receiving a report from the Chief Electoral Officer at some point about the last election, and we will continue to do the work of making sure that everybody's involved, that we have high voter turnout, that people engage with this important project of democracy. Thank you.